Look, I think that the guy is – there's things that he's going to be able to do in one-on-ones that I do believe are going to show up. But I think there's going to be a lot that maybe fans don't see that's going to play huge dividends for us. I mean, even yesterday, just, the third downs and watching him work, I mean, he's a pro. The way he prepares, the way he works, I mean, that's evident. Being able to just watch him, put our eyes on him. But the way that he's able to work with Mac and Pascal and, just the different rush patterns, things of that nature, it's going to pay dividends for the whole group. And that's it. So would I love to see 6 sacks? Yeah, absolutely. But no, so don't come out of this game and be like, well, he didn't get 6 sacks. I mean, what are we doing? He's going to help us, and that's going to be evident. And, that was good to see him yesterday. He's gonna help us big time.
You anticipate him being on kind of like a pitch count type thing?
Yeah, we'll work him in. We'll make sure that we use him appropriately. And look, he's going to play on all downs, but we're going to maximize what he's got in the tank, to help us. So I guess if you pitch count, yes, somewhere in there, we'll get him some.
Coordinator yesterday, Ben was kind of describing your weekly situational meeting. It sounds like both coordinators are kind of in that. You go over, the different situations that are interesting that happen around the league each week. And I'm just curious, how that developed and why is it, the right decision, or why is it important to have, both kind of thought processes in the same room at the same time?
Well, number one, because those guys are going to be head coaches. Eventually, whether it's now, whether it's later, whatever the case is. So it's good for them to see it, and it's also good for them to see the other side of it, to be able to see it from a defensive perspective on managing a game, to see it from an offensive perspective, managing a game. And then you do that and you figure out what's right for you. They know what's right for us because it's the way I see it. Eventually, when it becomes their team, they may see it a little differently. There may be a more conservative approach. There may be a more aggressive approach. But you just want to know that you have all the facts and you know how to, that you're able to put those into your own way of seeing it, and to make the best decision possible. It's been good for us.
Were those situational meetings something you did with Sean, or is that a common thing you do at every, coaching staff?
Well, I'm sure most would probably do that. We did a number of things with Sean. Ours were more related with the team overall than it was the actual staff, so we all got it, He would do that every Saturday morning, and we'll show things that pop up. I don't do it every week, but I show things that are, I think, important for the team to know. And then certainly training camp, we go through those. We'll show them offense, defense, just as we go against each other. But, yeah, I think it's good for the staff to be involved. Scotty's in there too, and it puts us all on the same page.
I'm not sure how often you get to interact with them, but what kind of professionalism and maturity has Allen Robinson kind of brought to the receiver room and then the offense as a whole?
Yeah, he's something else. He really is. I mentioned this a few weeks back, but, I mean, he's got the hunger of a rookie. I mean, it's impressive. For a guy that has played as much as he's played and had skins on this wall, and he's made a lot of money, had a ton of production. And, I mean, he's ready to go. He's ready to go at the drop of a hat. He can play any of the positions mentally. He knows them. You give him a rep, and he's all out. Take scout team reps. I mean, this guy is he's as pro as a pro gets. So have no problem with him going in the game at all. So he's ready, and, something's going to come up here before this season's over, and it's going to be critical. It'll be a critical situation, critical play that he's going to help us win. It's going to happen.
Speaking of the coordinators and the fact that they might be head coaches, at some point I'm reminded of a video clip. I think it was 2005 when Belichick is hugging Romeo Crennel and Charlie Weiss, and part of the emotion of that hug is they know they're not going to be together again. Do you savor what's happening right now and the sort of the ascension with these two guys, because you know it might not be that much longer?
Yeah, man, I savor every bit of this because you're not guaranteed. We're not guaranteed any more wins as far as that's concerned. You got to earn every one of them, and you don't know what's going to happen, the next day or the next game in front of you. But I know this. This is a special team and it's a special staff, and it's been that way since the beginning. It really has been, and so, yeah, I absolutely do. I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I'm thankful that I have the coordinators, counting Phipp as well. All three of those guys are superstars, and yeah, I do. And I know, hey, when it's over, it's over. But we're going to make the most of it until that time comes.
Do you remember that image?
I do, actually. It's a great image, and that was a special team. That really started it all, That was a special group those guys had.
This ties into that maybe a little bit. Somebody sent me a video of Joe Schmidt. He was talking about the 57 team. This was years later, like a reunion, and just talking about, he said, like, the love that the guys had for each other, the closeness that they had in that locker room. That's really what, like, drove them to that championship. The great teams you've been a part of with this team, how much is that a part of that? How much is that?
It's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of it because it's, there's so much that goes into it. There's an unselfishness and a selfish business. It's hard. And I'm talking about not just players. I'm talking about coaches too. That's the nature of this game, man. This is type A personalities and very confident and, especially if you're competing at the highest level. But to be able to put your ego aside for the guy next to you, and you say you care about him, well, you care about him enough to do everything it takes to get on the field and do your job and produce. And it should break your heart when you don't finish for a player next to you. You don't finish a block, or you don't chase the ball down and it turned into something bigger than it needed to be, or you're not in the gap you're supposed to be in. And those should drive you and motivate you not to let the guy next to you. And that's the common thread in all great teams, man. That's how they function. That's how they work. It's how they practice. And they hold each other accountable. Like, the coaches don't say anything. Like, they're on each other's ass in a good way. And that's what we've got right now. We have that type of team, that type of players. All right.